Well, again, thanks for coming on, man. So I don't really know anything about you. This is a bad introduction. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, so I know it's been a while I haven't recorded, but I got today this cool kid. He's only 18. Savion, his name. He's been doing it for like 4 or 5 years already. He started in high school, so he's got a head start. And it's an interesting interview because I never interviewed someone who is so young yet so involved already. So hey, check it out. Without further ado, let's get into this. Oh wait, shout out to Kirk. We're sorry for the intro music. Also, like, follow, subscribe this page, the anchor page, all the pages, follow our social medias, all that good stuff, and leave a comment, audio, whatever you want to hear or see next. Goodbye.
Yeah. So my name is Savion Robinson. I've been doing comedy for about 5 years now. I live in suburbs of North Carolina. It's just not a lot of comedy down here. A lot of country music. Not a lot of funny people. But it's just it's been great just performing wherever I can and just going down to the comedy club. Like there's a place called Good Nights Comedy Club down here. I perform there, and you know, it's I perform at a couple college campuses too. So
All right, awesome. So,
yeah,
so 5 years. What
it's
got you
6 years
started?
now.
Oh,
So
six.
yeah, it's going on six. So,
All right, awesome. What got you started? What was the thing that made you say, "Let me do this"?
it's just you know, short answer being like third grade class. The
Hey,
third
all the
grade
way
class.
back.
Yeah, that's all the way right there. But I just I just started doing it. I just started doing it more and more, and I used to do talent shows in high school. So like I do that, and I'd like I said, I go to the club, and people would laugh at me, and comics would like talk to me, give me advice on like where to put the microphone stand and all that, and how to market yourself and do stuff like that. But yeah, I just been focusing on stand up and my joke writing and trying to perfect that.
Right, right. That's the goal. So you liked entertainment then? Were you doing comedy at the talent shows, or was you doing something
Yeah,
else?
I was doing comedy. I was doing stand up comedy at the time. I was the only stand up act. You know, everybody else had like real talents, like playing the piano, dancing, break dancing, stuff like that. And you know, so it was pretty obvious who the judges picked. It was like you're gonna be the piano guy. We had one dude with a circuit board. He could turn the lights off, and everybody be like, "Oh wow, crazy."
Uh,
It's
like, isn't
like
it
that.
weird how when like people who don't do stand up, they compliment you. They're like, "Man, you were funny. I could never do that." It's really hard to get up there in front of people and try to make them laugh, and like they praise that it's difficult, definitely. But then, like you mentioned, you go to some show where and someone is just flipping a light switch, like you said, but they win.
Yeah, that dude won. Unfortunately, he brought he brought the showstopper material. So I guess
Okay, all right. He had the dimmer or something, right?
yeah, he had like a rocket pad or whatever.
Gotcha. All
Yeah,
right, cool, cool.
yeah.
So 5 years. Have you always been in South Carolina?
I've always been in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. My bad.
Yeah, it's like no, they're close to each other though. Like it's one's in north, one's in south. It's actually Georgia is like a big. They
Okay.
said I'm sorry, not Georgia. North Carolina is like a big state, so they had to break it up. Like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. So it's like those are all three big states. But yeah, I live in northern hemisphere of that. So I just I you just it's it's I don't know. People, I'm sorry. Can you restate the question? I got lost.
Sorry. So you've been in North Carolina the whole time doing your stand up.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I've been in North Carolina the whole time doing stand up comedy, and I'm hoping to start traveling, like going on the road with like comedians in the future, just other promoters, and get gigs and just start
Right.
start
Right.
doing
Start making the road life happen.
it. Yeah. You
Have,
you want to do it while you're young.
yeah, right. Definitely true. I see all those young comics are only in like their mid 20s already having specials, and I'm like, damn, like
You know.
like why couldn't I have been more depressed when I was a kid so I can start sooner?
I don't know. It's just like that's the question I'm asking myself too. I I I don't really know. It's just people. You can't really you can't really compare yourself to other people. That's the other thing because like you don't know what that person like had to do or what that person like saw. So you just gotta move to the beat of your own drum.
Yeah,
And just like you gotta keep the faith. And there's nothing wrong with being like a little bit of competitive because I think that's like that competitive spirit. Like, man, I should have got a special. I should have did that, and that's okay because like that's really making you better because that's just telling you like, hey, oh well, I need to get my stuff together. I need to start
yeah,
rehearsing and coming up with that groundbreaking material, just like him or him or her. But how am I gonna make it different from him or her? But you gotta keep on going and just you can't
right,
lose faith. You can't lose sight of the goal. So
right. Because ultimately you're competing with yourself. Like if you write a joke and someone has a similar joke, you got to figure out how you can make it better, not how to beat them. You're competing against yourself like 90% of the time.
right,
Mm.
right.
Yeah. So what was tell me about your first time you tried stand up, like the um and let's like in a open mic setting, not the talent show, but like an actual open mic comedy show, whatever. What was that like?
It was it was pretty great. I mean, the first time when I first heard about it in high school, I was a freshman, so I just got to high school. So it came on the intercom just like any other news that you hear in like a public school setting. It just they have a
Okay.
talent show coming up. Come to this person's classroom to sign up, get a form. You know, and so like that's I told my friends like, yo man, I'm gonna get in this talent show, see if I can do something with that, right? It's like he was like, okay, but you go on ahead. That's my friend. So you go on ahead. I don't wanna do nothing with that. So I was like, okay. So it was just like it was my own journey from then. So I go to one of the teachers' classrooms. I forget his name. I don't know the teacher's name off the top of my head, but I go to his classroom. I tell him what I'm doing. He says, okay, tell a joke. And I'm like, I tell some sort of stupid joke, probably like a knock joke or some shit like that. I don't know, but he says, okay, all right, yeah. He just passed me the form, and I signed up for it, and it's just been a it's just been a nonstop comedy train ever since then.
Okay. So your teacher was the gatekeeper. He was like, man, you better be funny or I'm not letting you sign up.
Yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
pretty much.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. And so you've been doing it nonstop since high school.
since high school. Yeah,
So how old are you then, man?
I'm 18 years old.
18 years old. Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's actually been earlier than that, man.
Well,
But yeah, it's
damn,
been.
bro. Like, damn. Like, so you could be one of those young, comics that take off because you started so early. You have more time. You have more time than a lot of us because you started so early. You picked like any career. The earlier you start, the sooner you can retire or make it to the top, whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
Well, damn, dude. Like if you end up on SNL in like 7 years, say what's up or something.
that's the
Give that
goal.
teacher a shout out at least.
I will. You already know. That's on my bucket list.
Okay, so did you graduate already?
Yes, I did. I graduated last year.
Okay.
I had one of those drive-through graduations.
Mhm.
It was like stop, pick up your diploma, and then just leave.
Yeah,
But
that's how we do our weddings here in Vegas. The same way, just pull up and leave. Yeah. Okay, damn, that's so cool though. That's so cool. So, wow, you haven't have you gone to the clubs? Any of the comedy clubs yet in there?
in North Carolina,
Yeah, have they let you in?
yeah, they've let me in. Thank God I grew a group goatee early. Because
Oh,
I
that's
that's
okay.
that was the ticket, and then money aspect is a whole different story. You needed to have a couple dollars to get in there, but yeah, Cash App is what's there for me too, so I appreciate that. But yeah, they let me go in there like regardless. You just can't drink. You know,
Yeah. All
you're
right.
under 18 years old. You can perform. You can talk to people. You know, you just can't drink. You can't do anything a 18-year-old.
Okay. No, that I mean that makes sense. That's cool. Like Vegas, some places they won't even let you in. You know, even if you're gonna get an X on your hand and stay in the back, like no, you can't get in. So that's cool they let you do that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So being so young and doing comedy right now, like what's like your goal? What is your ultimate goal with comedy?
ultimate goal is to become like a successful stand-up.
Okay.
By this time this year. You know, to really get my foot in the door. You know, get the connections that I need,
Yeah.
and so that I can skyrocket and just take off, and just so that I can have a rap sheet, and then people look at it and be like, oh, I want to work with this person. I want to do something with this guy. You know. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal, and the ultimate, and that's the only thing that's keeping me awake at night, keeping me up in the morning.
Okay. No,
You know.
that's a great goal to have. I think like 50% of the comedians in the group have that goal. You know, to make it to the top in comedy.
Yeah.
I know some probably want to be actors, or I personally like would like my ultimate goal is to be a writer for a sitcom, SNL, anything where I can just write the comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. I write a little bit of the stuff. I want I want to get the visual, the visual, like people. I want people to see my face too. I
Hmm.
want to write and perform my own stuff in front of people on step. Just like when I go to the clubs, I want to do that on camera across
Right, right.
hundreds of
That's
TVs
cool.
across
Yeah,
America.
that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. So, what is your plan right now? Like, because you just graduated school, you, you got a little head start on comedy, and you're already getting tips and advices, and you're only 18. What is the next step for you? Like, I know you want to travel, but what's the immediate next step right now?
um, I don't really, I don't really know. I really don't know. I mean, it's the thing about it is this, like, quarantine
Yeah.
has had me think about this, has had me like dissect myself and really just like take apart myself and just see who I am as a person, you know? And that's really helped me figure out like what I want to do, and like where to go, and just like what type of goals I want to accomplish before a certain time, you know. And so uh I don't really have a plan, but I have a goal, and you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta believe in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
I'm a process believer. I know everybody's talking about, oh, we need to have a plan, but the goal is completing. The goal is to plan. I just there's no track, there's no set track or set path that I say, oh, well, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta get good with this person so you can get do good with that person. You never know. It's not like there's a crystal ball around. It's not like you can really like do anything like ask somebody like what you need to be doing, because a lot of people have their own plans, they have their own goals. A lot of
Yeah.
folks out there just like me, or older than me, that's like still in the position that I'm in, trying to get seen, trying to get on TV. So I mean, I don't really have any type of advice for that. Only advice I do I would like to give out to folks that are like my age and are just earlier and just starting out. Just like don't listen to nobody, and just keep on
Nobody.
going. Don't listen to the negativity.
Okay, I was
Basically,
about to say I'm gonna listen to my mom, man.
I mean, you can. I mean, even your mom, your parents could be negative, and they
Yeah.
talk you out too. But like, shoot, you can't let people discourage you. Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta believe in the end result each and every time. Okay, because
Yeah.
that's how success. That's how you succeed. It's like you gotta believe in your goal and believe that you're gonna accomplish that goal. You gotta see yourself accomplishing that goal, accomplishing whatever you want to do, and like that's how people succeed.
Right. Definitely. You want to take the negative with a grain of salt. Just so because I'll also admit sometimes there's something factual about it that you didn't see, but you take that, you can fix it up, and then move on. You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, but definitely leave 90% of that negativity. Just Like you said, your friends, like when you sign up for the talent, you're like, all right, you do you, you know.
Yeah,
But like in 10 years or whatever, when you're traveling, headlining shows and stuff, they'll be like, hey, can we get tickets?
right.
You know, be like, hell no.
Exactly. Right, man. You know, let's hope they don't see this. I don't want to. I don't know what they're gonna say. I mean, I don't
I,
know.
well, I mean, like life is about making new friends, losing friends. Sometimes you just grow apart.
Yeah, that's right.
So if they see this and they're like, you know what, he's got a point. We should support our boy.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, well, I'll wait 10 years see if he makes it before I support him. Like
They should have took. They should have took me out to more parties. That's what they should have did. That's,
it's not
I
it's
ain't
not too
been
late,
back
fellas.
out
It's
for
not too
how long
late.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because as far as a plan, like I really don't have a plan, but I do have like a guideline that I use, kind of. Like I get advice from comics too. They're like, for the most part, they're all somewhat friendly. No
Right.
one's really out there telling you, man, you sucked on stage. They're usually telling, like, hey, man, that was a good set. Here, this joke might have worked better this time or this way, whatever.
Yeah.
But generally, finding yourself a good group of comic friends, people you vibe with and connect and have a similar style or understand your style. So, not even necessarily having a mentor if that's not what you're looking for. But do you have like a group of people in the comic scene that you feel like, if I need to work on a joke or something, I can come to you guys?
Yeah, I do. It's there's a group I go to called Almost Comedy. I mean, I I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a group that I go. It's just a group of mature comics, and we talk. We go there like they have like sessions like every day at certain times, and you go to those sessions. You get to work on material, and then they'll give you feedback you know like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say hoe. You should say prostitute. You shouldn't say breasts. I mean, you shouldn't say titties. You should say breasts.
Yeah.
Like they'll correct words like that for me, and they'll say like, or maybe you need to take this joke to this level instead of having it at the level that it's at. Okay, because it could be so much better if you said that instead of this. And so that's how we communicate through that. And then sometimes I give my feedback too, and we have like a general liking for each other's opinions, and we really appreciate like the back and forth, uh you know stuff that we give to each other that that'll make our jokes better when we tell them in front of our audience. So
Yeah,
yeah.
all right, that's cool. So I mean, I gotta ask you, because a lot of comedy is also about life experience. The ones who tell personal stories, and you got want to give something people can relate to. So you being so young, what are your typical jokes about?
My typical jokes is about what just this generation, like Generation Z in total. So I told a joke about, for example, I told a joke about how like I see a whole lot of white kids wanting to be black now. Like you'll see a whole bunch of.
I mean, I don't think it's just now, but yeah.
Yeah, it's more now, right? It's more. You'll see them. They got the hair, the wardrobe, everything. The shoes.
I definitely do agree. I feel like it's more mainstream open now.
Yeah,
Like back in the day, like a white kid trying to be fit into the black culture,
yeah,
they stood out. And
right.
nowadays they're like, no, it's just blended in, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, so I just make jokes about that, but they always want permission to say the N word.
yeah.
So that's
Do you
that's
give it
a
to them?
that's a joke. That's a joke I talk about. It's funny. I'll talk about uh how they want to get on the basketball team. They want to be on the track team. They want to date the white girl. It's like what black folks would do. Just they do that same shit. So
I like how you said they want to play basketball. They want to say the N word. They want to date white girls just like black people do.
yeah,
I like the setup on that.
yeah.
I don't know if that was a
White
joke
girls are
or
great, ain't they?
but I thought it was funny. Should use it if
Right.
you're not.
Well, yeah. Uh, I love all women though. It's not. It's. I want to make that clear. I love all women. All right.
Yes, all
No
of them
matter
can
how
slide in
they.
the DMs.
Right. And that's just one joke. Then I'll talk about my family. Because what better life experience do you, do you have like when it comes to family? You know, I talk about my uncles, talk about my grandparents. You
Yeah,
know,
true. Everyone's got a family. Everyone can relate,
yeah,
except the orphan, but that's an
yeah,
exception.
it's true. It's I do impressions. I do impressions of everybody. I can do impressions of my mom, my dad. You know, I do impressions for my sisters. You know, like when my parents leave the house, I'll just go around the house just talking like them, and they'll laugh and like, you know, they'll just say that's a really good impression. You know, now please get out of my room so I can work. But yeah, it's impressions, family, and then I talk about the job experiences that I had because I've had like 3 jobs, and I'll make jokes about that. I'll make jokes about my coworkers, and you know, it's not a lot of life experience, but you know, it's still something, you know,
Yeah,
and I like to kind of replicate that and like see how much I can get out of it, you know.
yeah, definitely. That I mean, there's definitely a lot, with just what you got. There's definitely a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Um, I honestly, the whole, white kids trying to, be like black kids. I've heard some jokes about that, but from a young age, like where you and you're the one at school and you're watching them and stuff. That's a premise or view I haven't seen. You know,
yeah, right,
families. Everyone has a family, so like I said, that's an easy one to go to for everybody. That'll touch anybody if you can't relate.
right.
Like I said, you're an orphan, and the jobs. The jobs. So it's cool that you got actual stuff. You know,
Right.
do you do any like creative, like made up stuff, jokes, anything like that too?
Yeah, I do plenty. I've made up jokes, and I made one joke about rappers. I like to joke about being a rapper and like what would it be like to rap, and I talk about other rappers like DMX, rappers like a lot of old school rappers like Ice Cube, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, you know,
Okay,
stuff
the,
like
the
that.
classics, the classics.
Classic, nothing
Yeah.
but the classics all day, you know. And
Okay.
I don't know what this rap game is today, but
That I mean that this is your generation's rap music. So you
yeah.
joke about that too,
You
then? Like,
blaming us? Like we didn't do nothing. Hey, come on now.
hey, you guys. Look, I'm not saying it was you, but
Mm.
no. Everyone kept hitting play on Spotify. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody put something in the water, bro. Like for real. I don't know what's, what's going on.
it's maybe it's the white kids. Maybe it's the white kids. I don't know.
Probably. Shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, sorry. So with the music though, like listening to old music, um, I guess it's classic rock or classic hip hop now. I guess I'm old. And comparing to the new stuff, you obviously like the older stuff.
Yeah.
I have my opinions about the new stuff, but what is it about the new stuff that you're not really feeling?
I mean, like you gotta think about the older stuff. It had a message. You know, it talked to a lot of black. Cause see, black people back then, you know, they weren't as fortunate as we are now because like they didn't have a lot of opportunities as we as they had back then in terms of living arrangements. Like they were living in like really messed up communities, and like and you know they were just being exposed to a lot of racism because of you know where they lived. Like it's just like today, but like I'm not saying it's still not going on, but again nobody was recording it. You know
Yeah.
there was no camera phones out to record a police brutality. You know it was like, hey, I saw this, pass the message on to that person, and then you know it just became a story. You know, but yeah, like today is that's what the rappers were talking about. You know, they were rapping about like the injustice done to African Americans and just people of minority that didn't have the right upbringings growing up because you know they just uh they wanted to put it out there and needed exposure, you know. And so now today we talk about rap music today. It's not really helping anybody. You know, it's not really encouraging people to get up and do something. You know, it's just a whole bunch of doing drugs. I fucked her. I don't know if we can cuss, like, but I don't want to. it's just a whole bunch of nasty. Like I did this to this woman. I put my thing in her and all that. And that's not really like what they're talking about. But like you gotta listen with a third. You gotta look at it and listen from like a third perspective. And that's it's not really helping anybody in terms of like how can I help myself, you know? And
Right.
that's what I think.
Right.
Really.
So I'm picking up you're like an old soul. Like, like you act older than you are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm
All right.
97 in dog years. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. What you got? You got do you plan to pursue college or anything like that, or just straight to comedy?
I'm straight to comedy.
Okay, you
Straight.
gonna get okay. All right, cool. Yeah, you get drafted by the comedy bug. That's good.
Yeah.
So, you performed at colleges though,
I mean,
right?
I didn't perform at colleges. I performed like around colleges, like clubs around colleges. Not
Oh, okay. I was
so.
saying I thought you said you performed at college, and then I thought you were gonna switch up. Like, no, it was in the dorm room of some kid. Actually, he's
I wasn't that fortunate to do that.
okay. Well, that okay. All right. Well, when you performed in those clubs around the colleges, then like, I'm sure you saw college kids. Did you
Yeah, I
ever?
saw college. Yeah, we saw college.
Yeah.
I
Did-
saw college kids perform, and they talk about the college kids. They have a lot of material that I've never heard of before, because they are in college, and they have their own stories. So like they can talk about their professors. They talk about like doing drugs, like what type of drugs they did. Like I got high off of this, I was high off of Molly. I did lines of cocaine in this dude's dorm, and I lost my left nut and some shit like that. But so they'll make jokes about that,
Yeah,
and
those college kids, man, they're wild.
yeah, man, they're wild, man. I just
So my follow up question was gonna be like, so does that when you saw those, did you ever think like, I kind of want to try college, or were you kind of like, no, I don't want to touch it now?
I mean, at this point now, man, it's like I feel like I'm on to something right now. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm doing I'm feel like I'm being pulled in another direction. You know, it's not visible, but I can see, I can feel it.
Right,
And,
right, yeah. I get you. I get you.
right,
Yeah, they can lose a left nut. You can lose yours all different way too. I get it.
right. And college ain't for everybody.
No,
That's the thing. That's the thing we really gotta preach. You're not a failure if you don't go to college.
no, yeah, no, definitely
It's
not. Definitely
strongly
not.
recommended that you go to college. And but yeah, man, you can be whatever, whoever you want to be. Like I said, this is your life. You gotta live it. Okay, nobody's gonna tell you like I mean, people are gonna tell you how to live your life, but you're not really gonna you know feel like that's for you. So you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta dissect yourself, and you gotta figure out who you are piece by piece. And then the longer it takes, the I guess the better. And that's what quarantine is really, like I said, in quarantine, like I said before, with quarantine, this is giving me an opportunity to do that, because like I was pretty much lost after high school. I didn't really know what to do. So I
Okay.
I was I was out here just walking up and down the streets, just
Yeah, that's cool.
talking
I
to
mean,
myself.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is interesting because, like I said, most of the time I interview a comedian, they've lived life, they've gone to college, they had a 9 to 5 job, they've been married, they've been whatever, and then they hit that point in life, like, well, I want to try something new. Like, I don't know what to do now. Like, all that college, sure, I got a job, sure, I got married, but it's not happy, not whatever. And it's cool because you just graduated and you still have that same moment a lot of people do. Like, I know I had like, what do I do now? But you found the thing that you want to do right away. And it's not like college where you got to wait 4 years. You start comedy today, and that's it. You started it today. How good you get is up to you. How much effort you put in.
Right.
So it's cool that it's interesting. Like you already got a head start in high school. You got a few mentor ish things going on. You've been into some clubs. You've been performing around. You've seen a lot of things, and now you're about to take it to the next level and start traveling and
Yeah,
start trying
man.
to get bookings, features, maybe headliner spots. I don't know. I've never heard you. But
Yeah.
you are so well ahead of the game compared to a bunch of comics, just because you realize at a young age, like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever at one point thought maybe this isn't what I want to do though? You ever think like maybe comedy is just temporary?
Okay, well, with that, that goes back to the people, that negativity.
Hmm.
The people around you telling you that, and of course, people are gonna people are gonna say whatever they can to get under your skin. You just can't help that. That's their First Amendment right. You just they say what they want to say, but like you gotta. So there have been times where I'm like, okay, is this person right? Is this person I'm talking to, is it are they are they for real about me?
Hmm.
Right? And that's like with parents too. Like I know you said you like to listen to your mom and stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to your parents. 'Cause, your parents been here longer than you. They got more like experience in life, and like they teach you stuff. They've been teaching you since before the schools taught you anything.
Right.
And it's like, but if you have a passion for something and you got a purpose, and it's like if God showed you a vision. I don't know, like who what beliefs any of the listeners have out there, but like if y'all listening, like if whatever y'all believed in, like a higher power showed you a vision, like projected a vision into your mind, of like how you view yourself, and like and you see that vision, and like you can't stop thinking about it, then that's pretty much you. You can't do nothing about it. Like whatever image that you have in your head of you, that makes that when you see that, it makes you happy, it makes you excited, then that obviously must be like the direction you're trying to go in, you're supposed to go in.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a thing that people say, like you can say whatever. People pierce you outside, but they can't pierce you inside.
Right.
Like they can say whatever they want about you on the surface, but on the inside, that's the real you, and can't nobody change that. So you
Okay. So
gotta.
your goal has always been unwavering, 100% every time comedy, no doubts at all.
No doubts at all. I mean, there's been some other things. I've tried everything. Once you get to that point where you failed at everything, and that one thing that just you haven't failed at just keeps coming back, no matter how many times you push it away from you, beat it up, get it off of you, and it just keeps coming back. It's obvious that that's the plan.
Yeah.
So you know,
That's good. That's good. It's good to have that mentality that this is it. Um,
yeah.
that's good. That's very good. So, I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm like so tongue tied right now, dude. I'm like sorry about.
Yeah.
Okay, so, where's the first place you plan on traveling? Like, what's on your mind right now? Like, where would you like to get your first booked out of town show at?
Um, I want to go where the place is hot. I guess I want to go to the hot spots. So like Georgia, Atlanta. Uh, I got a lot of family down there. So yeah, I go back to Atlanta and see my family, and then there's some clubs around the city that I can perform at. That a lot of people got their start. Like DC Young Fly,
Yeah.
Chico Bean, the whole 85 South show, them guys. You got Earthquake. He's a comedian. Like Earthquake lived down there in
Yeah.
Atlanta. He got his start there. A guy named Bruce. Great, just phenomenal comedian. And like guys like that. They really. So that's the hometown for me too. Like since like all my family down there, and like I wanna go down there, so get a spot in a few clubs over there, and I guess after that you got to go to New York, because that's where dreams come true, right?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Right. And you gotta perform over there in some New York spots, and then it's like from there you just it's wherever the bus takes you, I guess.
All right, awesome. See, I was thinking you were gonna say like L.A. or New York from the start.
LA is definitely on the list, right next to those two. So
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I guess I never thought about Georgia. Down there. Like I do think about the South. But in my head, like Georgia never really stood out for me as a comedy place. I guess you know.
well, certain places in Georgia, it's Georgia. Certain places, yeah, in Georgia, it's because it's you're right. It's kind of like here, it's nothing but country music,
Mhm.
But like it's certain, but you gotta go around. You just gotta move around in Atlanta. There's a lot of places in Atlanta that you can go to for clubs. There's a lot of places in New York you can go to for comedy club. A lot of places in LA, like you said, to go to for clubs. I just figured like the first place I'd go, like it'd be much like closer just to go to Atlanta, just for like a nice pit stop, just to tell my family, hey, I made it. Y'all can stop talking shit about me now. Uh, and then just go to New York and LA and all these different places because that's that'll just be the first stop. That's the first stop, that state that came to my mind anyway. So
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's cool. Like Vegas. If you ever come to Vegas, we'd be happy to have you here. There's a few shows going on here right now. So on your way to LA, don't even stop. Don't even stop at LA. Just stop at Vegas. Everyone from LA is coming to Vegas apparently. So no point.
yeah, Vegas. I mean, I've does it look like it does in the movies? With the palm trees and the light up signs and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
If you're on that one stretch of road, yeah. Once you leave the strip, it's just like any other town. Just like any other town. We got a 7-Eleven,
Okay.
we got
Yeah.
schools,
Yeah. I want to go
our
to
teachers
Vegas.
are strippers sometimes, but other than that, it's normal.
Teachers are strippers. What?
I mean,
Uh,
there's some.
that's a good side hustle, man. Shoot, that's
I'm
great.
not. It is like if I look like they did, I'd be doing it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be shit.
Bro, shoot.
I
They
might be
gotta
doing
be
it on
attractive.
stage at a comedy show.
Are they attractive though? They're not like all them the old white women that just sit up with the wrinkles and the glasses on their face. Like what?
Look, some of those cougars still got it. Okay, some of them still
Right.
got it.
Okay.
But yeah, don't go to the cheap ones if you don't want to see the. But it costs some money to get in, but it's worth the cost. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
So like how far away are you from starting that road tripping gig? Are you waiting until COVID is over? Or are you trying to like put stuff in the works now?
Right now is this is the year to just get connections.
Okay.
Nothing's really set in stone yet. So it's just you gotta work with people and like maneuver and just be able to talk to people, have great communication skills. That's the one thing you gotta have in this business. When you in show business, you go
Yeah.
great communication skills because you know uh people want to know that you're human. That they can trust you.
Hmm.
That you're reliable and you can't just a lot of people want to perform. A lot of people can get up on stage, perform, and do all this stuff. But if you can't talk to people, if you can't communicate with people, if you can't come to a certain understanding with a person, then you're not really gonna get the relationship that you want with that person to be able to shoot you up to the spot because can't nobody do it all by itself. You need to have somebody backing you up each and every time. You got to have smarter people in the room. You can't be the smartest person in the room.
That's right. I mean, that's good. You got like a detail oriented kind of a guideline here. You're like make connections first, build that up, start planning the road trip out. That's cool. You're not just like I'm gonna just go tomorrow. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. You got this goal, and you're kind of playing it safe by preparing, or no, you're playing it smart. I should say you're playing it smart. That's cool. That's cool. So being how old were you when you first went to your first like comedy open mic, like outside of school and talent shows?
I was 17.
17. So you were doing like comedy about 3 years in school before you went out. So
Yeah,
real world.
right.
What was different from doing jokes at school to doing jokes to the public to other comics?
No alcohol. You know,
That was it.
it's like
That,
alcohol. No alcohol. I mean, because you can't get drunk at it. I mean, you can, but it's not permitted. But yeah, it's like uh no alcohol, and people there. You gotta understand you performing for a whole bunch of adults around that have lived life out in the city, and they pretty much they're a little bit rougher than like a school talent show.
Yeah.
So it's like uh they I feel like the people in the club expect more from you than than they do at a talent show with their kids, because parents at a talent show be like, oh well, it's cute, it's just all in good fun, it's for participation, and we just want the kids to just have a good time. And then you go to a club and be like, hey man, you suck, get off stage. That's how they be like, why are you here? Shit. They're like, I just want to make people laugh. I'm not
Yeah.
trying.
Okay. Okay. So for the most part, for you, it was similar, just different audience.
Yeah, different audience.
There was nothing that really stood out that you're like, wow, this is not what I thought it was gonna be like at all.
Well, so I don't want to say stood out. I mean, when I first time I went to a club, woman smacked me on the ass. Like I was
That
just
that that stands out. That
okay.
stands out.
Yeah, okay with her. She was drunk. She didn't know how old I was. So I was like, she asked me a question like, "Hey, baby, you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I'm not nervous. I'm just waiting on my turn to get on stage," because I was like all the way down on the list, right? She was like, "So, baby, you nervous?" I said, "No, I'm not nervous. I'm just waiting to get on stage." He said, "Well, that's okay, sweetie. You do good." And she smacked me on the ass, and she's like, "Oh my God, I forgot. How old are you?" I said, "It's too late, darling. I appreciate it though."
It's too late. The cops are on their way.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Get
right.
out while you
Okay.
can.
Well, did you kill it that night? Did you kill it?
It's funny because I didn't think I did kill it. I was like I had, because I'm just an overachiever type guy. Just a little bit when it comes to my craft, and I felt like, oh man, it should have went a whole lot better than what it was, right? But like they recorded my set, like the club recorded my set. Like I had my older sister, look at it. She laughed. She thought it was funny, and like she thought it was real funny, and like you shouldn't go too hard on yourself. You know, like okay, well, I thought I was trash. I wasted all those tears in the bathroom for nothing. And
Don't worry, man. You're just starting out. There's plenty more coming.
yeah,
No,
so
I get that too. Like, there's time I'm on stages and I'm thinking like, man, that sucked. And then I
yeah,
get off and people are like, hey, man, you did really good. I'm like, and then the vice versa. There's time I think I did really good, and then I look at the video and I'm like, that's oof.
right,
And we're our own toughest critic,
right,
because we have the jokes, we see the vision in our head, what we're trying to do, and then you're like, that's not what I wanted to do.
right, right. So,
But that's, I mean, if going to family and friends and them telling you you're funny, that's good though too. Because if you're not funny, they're gonna tell you like, nah, dude, you suck. They're gonna be honest with you.
yeah.
So that's good. Your sister was like, yeah, you're funny. You're funny. You're good. But the real question was that did that lady who smacked your ass, did she think you were funny?
She left, man.
Oh, she left.
She left. She didn't. She
Oh,
couldn't stay for my set. I guess she caught feelings for me. She didn't want me to see that she caught feelings. I mean, but yeah, man, I really wish she would have stayed. She would have been a great audience member.
yeah.
Have her in
Well,
the
that's my
front,
boy.
right? Man, she about 50 years old though. Fuck, I couldn't fuck with it.
That's a good sugar mama though. That's a good sugar mama.
Yeah, but the dollars be wrinkly, so shit, I couldn't. I don't. I don't think I.
At one point, you're gonna get to the age where you're like, oh, wrinkles don't matter now. You know. I feel just get used to it sooner. Like, all right.
Right. Yeah.
She could have funded your tour. She could have like paid for your tour, got you the bus, gone with you.
Yeah, man. Hey, we might cross paths again. Who knows?
For sure, for
Like, get
sure.
the other cheek this time. Don't do the same cheek. Do it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, um, the last question here, because we're almost like at an hour ish. Like I try not to do too long on these Zoom calls for people.
Okay.
So, two questions actually. So, one, have you been doing any kind of Zoom shows for comedy this whole time?
Yeah, I've been going to a couple open mics for Zoom, and
Okay.
I've been doing that, and it's uh it's it's kind it's kind of weird doing it. To tell you the truth, because I'm so used to being up on stage and moving
Mhm.
around. Because I do my best stuff while I'm walking around. Because like I'm getting the blood flow from my head to my toes. I can walk around, I can maneuver, I can like recreate my body. Tell a story from my body, and just like do put on characters, put on shows, and that's really what I miss. You can't really do that sitting in like a position like where you staring directly dead at a camera. You
Yeah.
know, and it's just difficult to really do it. And you're not really making audience members laugh. You're making a whole bunch of comics laugh, and like that's the thing. I rather make a lot of audience members laugh, because audience members, they just there to listen and look at you perform. Comedians always be like, oh well, I could have told that joke a lot better. You could have did that. You could have told it like this, and I probably would have laughed at it. But so they always. I feel like comedians are more kind of smug like that. So they don't really
Yeah.
they're worried about
Yeah.
themselves more than
Definitely. I think it's like the trade, like
yeah,
also like basketball players,
right,
like at some point they're not watching the game for the fun of it. They're like watching their tactics, the defense, the offense.
right,
So yeah, comics, you're done. The comics like, hey man, that joke, I liked it. You could have done this though.
yeah,
And some most of the time it's good hearted. It's helpful. I've had some tips like it's a good point.
right.
Some jokes I got to that conclusion myself later longer.
Hmm.
So it is what it is. Listen, like you said, don't listen to the negativity. But grain of salt.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from people. Like, yeah, like you said, like I said, don't listen to negativity, but you take a little, pay a little bit of attention to it,
Mhm.
just a little bit,
Yeah,
because
right.
maybe there's something in it. You'll find a diamond in the what's the what the saying, like you'll
Yeah,
find a diamond in the charcoal or whatever.
yeah. I do. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the last question, is this podcast, like I said, the when I first started the podcast, it's because when I started comedy, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about open mics. I didn't know nothing. You know.
Right.
And I want to do a podcast for anyone who like is thinking about doing comedy, who wants to know behind the scenes, like what comics think, what they do, because you met them, like they're in high school, they got 9 to 5 jobs you don't even know about, you know.
Hmm.
So with that in mind, like the one piece of advice that you could give to somebody who's brand new thinking about it, what would it be?
Um. First thing I'd say is try it out first. You never know unless you try. And then I give you some other comics, because like I said, I don't know nothing. I give you some professional comics to go listen to, and then they'll tell you their stories. Because that's what I've been going off of. They'll tell you what you need to do, and you can get a lot of information from like talk shows that they go on, like Conan, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. A bunch of comedians, actors come on there all the time. And like the host asks them questions, and then they gotta answer it. And they tell you like what you need to do and like what you don't need to do. And so yeah,
Right, right,
definitely do that, because you know it'll help you a lot.
right. I noticed how you said like you don't really have anything to offer because you're new at this, but I think that piece of advice was a good one because you basically tell them like, go look at other people, go study other people, see what they're doing, how they're doing it, and then apply what you can to yourself.
Right.
So you're very observant, and that's a good thing. You gotta be observant in comedy too.
Right.
Hmm. All right. Well, this was fun, dude. This was like I never interviewed anyone so young doing comedy. I'm jealous. Like I wish I could go back in time and just started sooner.
Yeah. It's
So
yeah.
keep it up. Like I hope you come to Vegas one day. If you do, let me know. I'll put you in touch with who runs the shows out here.
All right.
But dude, yeah, just keep going at it. You got to drive. You're young. The premises I've heard, dude, like they'll be killer. Just stay away from the old cougars, though. That's it.
Yeah, man. True. Yeah. We gotta save them for the weekend. Yeah. saving for Sunday like it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate that. I appreciate you coming. Do you have anything you want to promote? Are you coming up on a Zoom show or anything that you
Um,
want to put out there? Instagram.
well, I got it's funny. Like I actually got a. I'm doing something locally. I'm doing something. I'm trying to put together my own show. Right. Trying to get my own special out there because I'm trying to make a record. I'm gonna put my own comedy record out there. Put it on like the same. Put it on like SoundCloud or just any music platform that'll take it. You know. And then see what happens with that. It's gonna be an hour. It's gonna be an hour special. Kind of. So I already got the equipment, everything that I need for it. I'm just waiting on a confirmation date. So
Word. I mean,
uh,
I like how you were modest the whole time, the whole show. You were just modest, like, I don't really know much. I've only been blah blah blah. And then at the end, you're like, yeah, I got an album about to record, an hour long special.
about to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah, definitely send me that information, man. Hey, thank you. Thank you for being on the podcast, man.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
We'll
you so
see
much.
everybody later. Thanks for watching.
All
I don't know if do you have a special outro you like to do.
right. If you could, you can follow me on Instagram at off Savion, uh, off Savion, and then you can follow me on TikTok at off Savion 18. And you know, millennials, I know you're gonna follow the social media handles. Generation X, hopefully y'all do too. So Generation Z, I know y'all just already on your way to following me, and so I appreciate y'all listening, and I hope that everybody has a blessed day, and just keeping on, and keep on your mask. I don't know, keep your mask on. We can beat this. We can beat this virus. So let the comics get back to what they doing, entertaining y'all, because we really want to do it. So.
Word. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Good night.